Welcome to the Entrepreneur Experts Cafe, sponsored by Entrepreneurs Rocket Fuel. I am Kimberly Hobscheid, your host and the creator of the Facebook community, Entrepreneurs Rocket Fuel, a community by entrepreneurs, for entrepreneurs, helping entrepreneurs and experts get their business to the next level. Come join the community at www.entrepreneursrocketfuel.com/Facebook and join the conversation. Today, I am going to interview Connie Whitman. Connie Whitman is an expert on sales and communication. Connie, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Kimberly, for having me. I'm so excited. I love your energy, and I think we're going to be firing fast. So that makes it for an exciting show.
I like it. Entrepreneur Experts Cafe is always different people and always exciting in its own way, but I agree with you. I think you were very high energy. I love your style. All right, so Connie, before we get started, tell us a little bit about you and like how you got into doing sales and communication. I know they go hand in hand, as you often say. Tell us a little bit about that.
So 38 years ago, and Kimberly, I know 38 years, look at this face. How could this be?
How does that happen?
How does that happen? Life just keeps marching on. So 38 years ago, after graduating college, trying to figure out what I wanted to do. And I knew I needed to work with people. And the interesting thing is, as I was meeting and I had, first job, definitely wasn't going to be my career. And I started realizing that people had no idea how to manage money. And my undergraduate degree was from Rutgers was finance. And at the time I was going for my MBA in the evening in finance. So I think and see in numbers, right? So as I'm meeting people, I'm thinking, wow, they don't know what a cash flow is. Wow, they don't know how to save money. Wow, they have debt and all of these things. So after graduating college, I went back and I wanted to help people with investments and insurance to protect their assets, their families, et cetera. So I graduated going for my MBA and I went for my licensing for insurance and my Series 7 license in New Jersey, you're United States too. So in the securities, Series 7 is, it's a prestigious test to pass. So I did all that and I realized that first time sitting with the client that they need me. And I loved that one-on-one communication and having light bulbs go off and teaching them all of this stuff that I knew to help them literally protect their family. And that to me is so important. Family is important. So sitting at the kitchen table, literally, it was awesome because I felt like they were my family and I'm all about that. So that's how I got into it and knew, yeah, this is where I belong, that kind of teaching platform. So that was my start.
Wonderful. All right. So then you were like, all right, they know a little bit about money and investments and things like that. How did you transition that into, you need to grow your sales and you need to make that into like this communication piece because communication is a big part of sales.
Yeah. So it's funny. So it transitioned from that insurance investment platform to banking in the 90s. And I was there for about 13 years, loved it, loved teaching. I was a regional sales manager. I had several hundred people under me. It was just awesome, right? And I'm competitive. So in my region, we had to be number one. I do not manage with an iron fist. I manage through education. You give them the behaviors, the numbers always come. So I really honed my teaching skills and I honed my own communication skills. And I realized that as I was teaching my team, right, to do a better job with their customers, banking, investments, all of those things, that at the core, really I had to help people develop their communication skills. And then the parlay of that is sales comes because now we're having these organic, dynamic, fruitful conversations. And then you understand the customer. When you make your recommendation, the customer's leaning in and saying, yeah, how fast can we get this going? So that's kind of how I honed my skills. And then 20 years ago, because banking was going through merger mania is what I call it. And everything became very uncertain. And I had two babies at home. I had a 1 and a 4-year-old. And yeah, they're big chooches now, but they were 1 and 4 at the time. And I thought, I got to get more control. And I think entrepreneurs, that's one of the reasons we start a business is to gain control. Plus, I was being capped with my income. I didn't like that either. So 20 years ago, I said, you know what? I'm taking all these skills. I knew all of these. I had a huge network. I can make this work. And I started my business. I did, because of the merger, I had a 13-month package. As a senior vice president, had been there 13 years. They were giving away very generous packages. So I had the safety net, opened my business. That was 20 years ago. Now, instead of just teaching my group of people, I'm teaching everybody how to sales and scale, just really scaling their business.
Well, I love it. Okay, so you actually teach sales. Do you teach
Mhm.
sales to people who have sales teams? And you teach like how to run a sales team, but you also teach entrepreneurs about sales themselves. And those are
Absolutely.
really two different groups. Like you have, like I ran major teams similar to you. I have a background where I was at corporate and I was running teams where hundreds of salespeople were rolled up through me, and very competitive also. And I loved that, right? And teaching by the numbers and helping people win is awesome. But that is a very, very different skill from teaching entrepreneurs
Correct.
about sales, because the entrepreneur is like, I have this product, I have this service, it's going to save the world, it's going to make a difference, it's going to make an impact, but I don't want to be salesy, right? So those people often are very, very different than people who are managing sales teams who are expecting people to be kind of salesy. So tell us a
Absolutely.
little bit about that.
So it's funny because if people have a sales team, then it's easier for me to come in. I'm creating a digital class, which is going to launch in August. So it's much more affordable than bring me in to train 500 employees on your team. So that's for the entrepreneur, the small business owner, Kimberly. So I shifted a little bit with COVID, and it was the best thing I could have done, because businesses, they love what they've created. And then when they try to talk about it, they're like, yeah, so if you're interested, let me know. No, own it. Have that see, it goes back to communication skills. It's their own fear of rejection. So they're not really having the conversation and asking the questions for the customer to say, well, can you help me with this? Can you help me with that? Let's do this. Let's do that. And then all of a sudden the sale's happening without you even realizing it, because you're communicating at such a high level and the vibration matches versus hiding because you felt salesy and sleazy. And it's funny, my new book's coming out in July 16th, it's launching. But I think the first sentence in the book is, if you're not selling with integrity and love, you're doing it wrong. And then my second sentence is, okay, Connie, you've really lost.
Wait, I have to slow that down because it was so juicy. If you're not selling with integrity and love, you're doing it wrong.
Doing it wrong.
I love that. Absolutely. Fantastic.
So, and think about it, as business owners, when we're excited, we've created this magical thing that's going to help the world, like you said before. And as soon as you believe, which I know we believe it, but we feel sleazy, because sales and sleazy, the S, right? They go together. Sales should never feel sleazy or icky or pushy or pitchy. It's wrong. It should be sitting down like you're talking to your mom and dad or grandparents, saying, oh my God, you can't believe what I've created. I'm so excited. Yeah. And you know how it's going to help people? And, blah, 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 and ask questions about where are you and how could potentially what I'm creating, service, product, help you make your life easier, faster, better, whatever it is. And as soon as we shift the conversation to the client and not about me, the client's talking, it becomes crystal clear that I'm a good match or I'm not a good match. And that's okay too. But you're never salesy or pitchy, because it's about the customer that's in front of you. And it should be. It should be like you're selling to family. And for me, if you're not selling from the heart and you're doing it for the money, you shouldn't be doing it. That's when it becomes icky.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think most entrepreneurs feel like their stuff is really worthwhile and it's going to serve to the greater good. But then when they get to that, they're like, ooh, I don't want to talk them into buying. But really, as soon as you look at it, Connie's totally right. As soon as you look at it from the perspective of the person who is potentially buying it, and they're, like, how can it actually serve them, then that's a different matter altogether. And it takes you and your need to make sales completely out of the equation, because it's really not about that at all.
That's exactly right. And that's, like I said at the beginning, as we hone those communication and those sales skills, and there's a process, right? The process of communication is having a conversation. So it's a little process that you have to follow, and skill by skill, you develop it. So again, you create those rich, dynamic conversations. As soon as that happens, sales doesn't become sales. I'm doing sales. It becomes, hey, I have a new friend and this is how I'm going to help them. And all of a sudden you become friends. My clients become my friends. It's the craziest thing.
I believe
because that's who I am, but that's who you have to be, because it's about the customer. It's not about you. It's not about your product. It's about how you can help and serve. And that's why you have to come from a place of love. I know it sounds corny, but it's true.
it is true. Yeah, I love it. And that is probably the secret sauce to your success. I absolutely love it, Connie.
Totally.
Well, clearly you are an expert in this area, and there are many people out there who would need your help and guidance. So can you, how can people get a hold of you directly? What's the best way for them to reach out?
Yeah, go to my website. I have a resource page on there, and my podcast is on there. So a ton of free information that and I love doing that, right? Because I want to be of service to many. Go to my website. It's whitmanassociates.com. So it's WHITMANASSOC.com. Or feel free, if you have like a quick question and you say, I want to pick your brain, email me at Connie@WhitmanAssociates.com. I respond to my emails personally. I don't have a virtual assistant or any of that, because I'm very touchy, not literally because of COVID, we can't touch, but I'm very hands-on, and I really want to understand what people are asking me. And if I don't have the answer, I have such a huge network, I can get you in the right place for assistance, whatever that is.
I believe that. So give us your website again, and your email address is Connie, CONNIE. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, so go ahead and give us the website again.
So it's WhitmanAssociates.com or email me, Connie@WhitmanAssociates.com.
Perfect. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Connie, I really appreciate you being here with us today and carving time out of your schedule to be on our show, the Entrepreneur Experts Cafe. Before we let you go, are there any final words you have for our crew?
Sell through love. Telling you, if you sell through love and you make it about the customer and how you can serve them, behaviors will drive the numbers. If you get that one little piece of the secret sauce, as you called it, you're going to see your sales increase. Just try it. Try it.
I love it. Well, very, very well said. I couldn't have said it better myself. All right, Connie, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you.
All right, ladies
Honored.
and gentlemen, that was another episode of Entrepreneur Experts Cafe. Please join us and subscribe. We would love to have you on the next one. Cheers.